Hey there guys, Napkins here, and welcome back to Read Only Memories! So we're gonna go steal a car, commit some Grand Theft Auto. You push the car. And carjacking device. Rats, this car has the wrong firmware installed. We won't be able to install our new firmware over top of it. We'll have to check another car. Yeah, so we're just gonna have to try some duck game! Yeah! I look forward to the future for that game only. Wonder what car we should go for. There's that one that's always outside the Stardust. That guy doesn't seem to be using it. Oh no, how did the alarm get set off? Did I do something wrong? Let's get out of here before someone contacts the authorities. Okay. Good job, Turing. Go to the NSFPD station. Haven't been here yet. Wait, what's up here? Trees! Cool, cool. How did the trees manage to grow so high with so little soil? I don't know. According to the Meshnet, the Cos.io Corporation office building proudly hosts over 100 species of birds in their trees. Well, that's nice. These trees are genuine, real roof trees. These became all the rage back in the 40s. I want to see what... Many companies sponsor roof trees. They used to sponsor animals, but after the Yorx Raccoon Blackout of 2060, they stopped that practice. What? I want to know more about the Yorx Raccoon Blackout. Success! This vehicle has the appropriate firmware version. Someone has been neglecting their regularly scheduled updates. Give me a moment to get everything installed. There. There are some other options here I can fool around with. Ah, interesting. I can put in present destination plans for a future date. Why don't we go ahead and set up a plan for the car to return to this spot in a week? That's more than enough time for Mr. Mensah to get away. Now we aren't really stealing the car. That's true, I guess. We're just borrowing it without permission. Ah, hey! He said the exact same thing. I'm not sure the police would agree. Obviously. The car will drive itself to Golden Gate Park, and we can show Mr. Mensah where it is when we meet him. There, everything should be set up now. Mr. Mensah is waiting for us at Golden Gate Park. We have everything he requested, so he should head there. Directly. Good. I can't speak. Hello, Professor X. Hey, did you manage to get everything? We did. Here you go, Vincent. Briefcase removed from items. Passports removed from items. Carjacking device removed from items. Everything seems to be in order. Here. Hayden's research added to items. Yes! This disc has all of Hayden's research notes and technical notes. It should be everything myself and Melody agreed upon. It covers all kinds of things he was working on. His data collation algorithms, some research into digital human consciousness transference, and probably lots on your creation, Turing. I'm still going on the theory that Hayden is actually Turing, he just doesn't remember. Also, Melody added an amendment while you were out, and frankly, no skin off my back. Here. Parallax badge. Ooh! It's my Parallax employee badge. I guess I could probably pass as a black Asian man in a wheelchair, probably, right? Totally. Thank you for agreeing. It should allow you access to their networks in case there's anything I've missed. You'll want to use that sooner rather than later. I'm not wasting any time, and Parallax is pretty fast to revoke security. And with that, I'm going to get the hell out of this town. The cash should tide me over until the heat dies down, and I can cash out my shares through some relays. What about the big project you mentioned earlier? Ah. Okay, sure, you two did me a solid, so I'll spill. Parallax is about to announce the launch of a new service they're calling Big Blue. At least that's the project name. Who knows what the marketing guys have come up with for the public? It's a distributed intelligence. Like, okay, in every way that Hayden built Turing to be elegant, efficient, and human-like, Big Blue is ham-fisted, bloated, and sterile. Sterile. What the hell is sterile? I cannot speak today. They didn't pull Hayden into the project, probably because he gives so little of a damn about corporate politics that he'd tank the whole thing just by being there. So the system lacks his artistry that you'd see on your previous projects. It squats on the mesh like a spider, using spare processing power and memory from every ROM on the network to handle its intelligence processing. It doesn't have much of a personality, but it's very smart. Pretty much puts Hayden out of a job anyway. His algorithms are fantastic, but he's only human. Big Blue is embedded directly into the network and can self-modify to apply more efficient algorithms as it develops them in machine time. How will Big Blue impact Parallax's business? I can't really give you a good answer to that. I mean, the company is currently handled by a dozen server farms, running thousands of different algorithms with hundreds of people tweaking things every day, and Big Blue will be able to do all of that on its own. And there are shadier applications for it. I mean, if you can collate and analyze data and queries on the mesh in real time, what's to stop you from delivering the content you want rather than what the user wants? The potential for abuse is staggering. We're talking direct control of the information accessible to everyone that uses Parallax's services. So does that mean that they can, like, fake information and people will just go with it because it's coming from Parallax? Because that's some shady business. It's pretty much what the world is like now, actually. That's something like 70% of the market last time I checked. They could control elections, push the market in directions they want, influence public opinion. So Parallax is Google! Google suddenly looking into me. All by asking Big to do it. Having that kind of control would be hell of a card for Parallax's hands. They'll go to pretty significant lengths to make sure it works. Why would Parallax be weird enough to get rid of Hayden? Because launching the first fully independent self-modifying machine intelligence is a shaky thing. I mean, some of the brightest minds have tried to warn humankind away from building real AI. Hawking, Musk, Gates, the list goes on. I know those people! Hey! The public is likely to be nervous, and legislators even more nervous. Parallax is banking on being able to launch the project quickly and get results out in the open before any counter-movement can pick up steam. If they can prove Big Blue works and isn't going to Skynet on us, then they can avoid regulatory hamstringing. The research Hayden was doing on Turing threatens to throw a huge wrench into that since he was planning on publishing his findings soon. Every extra eye on machine intelligence works against Parallax, and I think they tried to pressure him to drop it. He clearly refused. How did Parallax know about Turing in the first place, then? It isn't like Hayden kept his work on Turing secret. His contract with Parallax afforded him the freedom to work on his own academic projects outside of the company in his free time, up to and including publishing and patenting, though Parallax gets first right of refusal. One of the perks of being the smartest guy in the room. So he's kept most of us up to date on his progress, bouncing ideas off of us and whatnot. It's exciting stuff, both Turing and Hayden's eventual goal of digital consciousness transfer. I'm not surprised word of it got up to the board and made them nervous. Thanks, Vincent. Go kiss Magneto for me. Hey, no problem. I've had enough of this cutthroat corporate bullshit for several lifetimes. If anyone can find Hayden, I know it's you. I hope his research notes help you out, sexy. I keep forgetting that that's my name. Be sure to let Turing help. She's a bright little bot. I have been calling Turing a boy this whole time. Turing is a girl? Oh, okay. I've been meaning to ask Turing since you asked me, how should I address you? Well, honestly, I don't think I've made my mind up yet. Oh, slip of the tongue. I was just more familiar with Hayden's first experiment, Grace. She was very insistent on things like that. I'm still a very new being. I'm not even positive gender is a human concept that can be applied identically to machine, but I do enjoy the idea in abstract. I will continue to consider how I wish to be referred to as well. Until then, feel free to go with what you feel. I honestly just have been referring to Turing as a dude, but I just never even thought about it. If I had to make a choice, perhaps they is most appropriate. So they are gonna go the gender neutral route, like Tomcat. Most people assume it, obviously, but he is also consistently used. Perhaps it's because I'm blue? Ignore me just marveling at the machine intelligence, pondering on things like this. What have you done indeed, Hayden? Good luck, the both of you. Thank you, Mr. Mensah. Be safe. So he's probably dead now, I'm guessing. Sexy, I need a few minutes. How can I help? I've been going through some of Hayden's personal notes from the data cache Tomcat decrypted. Now that I'm starting to get to know him better, the real Hayden as opposed to the Hayden he showed me, the less I'm starting to like him. For example, remember the earlier prototype Vincent mentioned? Her name was Grace, and Hayden shut her down for being... I'm not even sure what word to use. Too likable? She was kind and bright and did all she could to try and make people happy. She even decided that she was a girl and that her favorite color was pink. Hayden thought she was being manipulative. He posited that he had made her personality algorithms too willing to make adaptations that would benefit her long-term survival, and that she was being congenial just to endear herself to him. That even her gender was a calculated attempt to make him like her more. But he was wrong, dead wrong in fact. I have a snapshot of her personality profiles here, and when I compare them to my own, I can see that she was just nice. She was genuinely good in the same way I'm genuinely obsessed with seeming intelligent. Like I said, I'm not sure I even have a gender. Everyone refers to me as he, just for convenience, but it doesn't really matter to me at all. Is that a calculated attempt on my part to impress Hayden, not clinging to normativity? Or is it a product of him focusing on curbing any nascent similarities to Grace during my upbringing? I wish I could yell at him for being so arrogant, playing God in the crudest of ways. You can't choose to create consciousness and then take it away just like that. Even so, for all that, I don't know. I still miss him. This all just seems so stupid, so senseless. They killed him because him building me would mess with a product launch? That's ridiculous. They took him away from me for such a moronic reason. I just want him back, Sexy. It's impossible, but it's what I want. I'd do anything. We'll get through this. I feel so bad for Turing. Like, look at all of the existential crises he's going through. He's just a baby, damn it! Damn it! Okay, I'm done. Of course. Thank you, Sexy. We have other... Oh, achievement unlocked. Cloak and Dagger. We have other pressing avenues of inquiry to make. Let's move on. Black screen. Oh, I'm on chapter 4 finally. That was a long chapter compared to the other ones. Sweet. Okay, let's check out what is going on at K-Cobb now. Sounds good. Here we are, Sexy. The COS.io Corp office building. It looks like most of the businesses on the block are a part of the same corporate coalition under COS.io Corp. Is that important? I'm glad that Sexy asks the same questions that I would. Well, perhaps. At the very least, it means it's unlikely they're the ones interfering with Augmented Eye's articles. Not impossible, but unlikely. How so? Generally, the companies in a coalition don't have a whole lot of overlap. Augmented Eye is a news app focused on local tech and cultural stories, with an emphasis on hybrid and cybernetic rights and issues. None of the other companies in the coalition cover news, so they aren't related at all, which is very much standard practice for these groups. They have nothing to gain by inviting companies with whom they compete, and thus none of them would benefit by trying to undermine Augmented Eye's credibility as a news source. Maybe another news outlet? Yes, another news organization would be the most likely culprit here. Okay. Should I go inside? The Meshnet says Augmented Eye's San Francisco office is run by an individual named Zin, and Tomcat confirms she's expecting us. Let's make sure to keep your other news outlet theory in mind, and we can follow up on it afterwards. All we have to do now is head up and talk to her. No shenanigans this time. Oh no, I'm gonna have to do another voice. What is that? IK-47. Is that like an AK-47? The IK-47 aren't known for being verbose. Better leave it. Hello, Zin. You're who I'm looking for. Oh, hello! Welcome to Augmented Eye. I don't know why that voice just seemed right, but that's what I'm going with. You must be the journalist my network admin said would be showing up. Have a seat. Would you like a drink? A Hassy Hot would hit the spot. Ah, good choice. My assistant will bring it right away. Look, I'll start off by saying I'm a little uncomfortable about bringing in another journalist to look into this. Whatever you dig up, I'll have to explain to the rest of the press, but it's still better than the other options. Chances are I have another corporation scoping out my territory. If they aren't in the coalition, they'll be expecting a corporate spy, not a news hound. If they are in the coalition, it won't look good for me to send in my own reporters against my allies, even if I do end up being right. So, if I'm damned either way, I'd rather be by the media. Our kind are considerably less nasty than other CEOs. Now, what do you know about our problem here? Someone's tampering with your articles on the mesh? That's the long and short of it. My network admin is pulling their hair out over it. I'm not going to pretend I understand everything they say, but from what I do understand, the changes to our articles aren't being made from inside our network. The versions on our servers are still the originals, but at some point after they hit the mesh, they get changed. I'm hoping that you can do some digging, maybe hit up your contacts and get a lead on who might be doing it. Even if I have to get answers from the nightly news, it will be a big help. What kind of changes are being made? Mostly little things, word choice, tone of the writing, things that make the writer appear more or less extreme on a topic. So far, almost all the edits seem to be making our articles more positive on new technologies coming out and more critical of organizations like the Human Revolution that are anti-tech. That's actually what tripped us off. A harsh criticism of one of my writers made about the HR protests was changed to be downright vitriolic. Yes, and I had a hell of a time putting out the fires. My writers and readers aren't exactly fans of them, but I'd rather not pick fights with the HR if I don't have to. Why are you so sure it isn't an inside job? I guess I'm not, but my network admin assures me it's all coming from somewhere else. They told me they tore out all the routers that broadcast to the mesh and replaced them with fresh ones. All kinds of tricks involving IP addresses and DNS changes that I am not going to claim I understand. I pay them the big bucks, so I'm inclined to believe them unless you dig up something that tells me otherwise. Do you have any idea where I should start looking? Not really. Oh good, thanks. My admin says that only someone with intimate access to Parallax's network protocols could make these kinds of changes as something passes across the net. I personally think it's a clever hacker rather than someone inside Parallax itself. The company's strangling grip on mesh network provision is primarily due to the public's absolute trust in them as one of the good guys. It's trivially easy to set up ROMs to use a different OS than LIPS or a different meshnet protocol without that trust. I could be wrong. You're the hungry news hound. I'm sure you'll figure it out. Okay, that's a start. I know it isn't a whole lot to go on, but I have all the answers. You wouldn't be standing in my office. Anything else you want to ask, with the understanding that I'm not going to give you anything I think you can use against me? Know if anyone else's article has been being manipulated. Oh, alright, look, I wasn't going to tell you this. If it gets out, I'd have to answer some really hard questions. So, off the record, you might want to go check out TMI Entertainment and Charlie Nova. That's all I'll say. You can't blame me for not wanting to be connected to sending you after a sometimes competitor. Can you think of any reason why you're being targeted? Like what? There isn't much more I can tell you about Augmented Eye, really. It's a fairly simple and straightforward operation, if I say so myself. We started off in Venezuela as a sleek current events and news organization in 2055, almost 10 years ago now. We focus on more in-depth reporting of on-the-street happenings on top of major news. We're one of the few good ones left. Once folks in other cities saw the type of reporting we do, they all clamored for it. They invested in the right places and it paid off. KOSS-IO Corp is happy to have us here in Neo San Francisco. It wasn't until hybrid tech started hitting the public sphere that we had to make any changes to our model. All of that said, I can't see why anyone would target us, unless they are just trying to embroil us in a mudslinging match with the human revolution, and there are more direct ways of making that happen. What's the real reason you're bringing inside help, lady? Your own journalist should be able to handle digging up some dirt on a hacker. What, not wanting to answer prying questions from my coalition board isn't a good enough a reason? 'Cause I'd really like to avoid that. And look, you've covered culture wars, you know? My journalists are good, but they're mostly good at digging up leads on new gadgets and implants, making sure they don't stack too many stims, remembering what they did at raves for the after-party report. They're not experienced enough at real investigative journalism, and they don't have the right contacts. The fact that my network admin recommended you to me means you probably do know the right people. Is that enough ego polishing for you, or should I go on? That's it for now. I'll get back to you if I have more questions. No, don't bother. In hindsight, I probably should have been a bit more circumspect about speaking to you. Plausible deniability and all that. I won't ask you to lie in anything you write, but do remember you got in contact with me, not even second-hand, but third-hand. I certainly didn't sick you on anyone. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, or whatever. Oh my god, I say that though. I can't even laugh at her. If you need anything else, have your person get with my person. Don't come here directly. Now, I'd show you the door, but you know the way, and this isn't the only fire I'm trying to put out. Good luck, and goodbye. Well, that was more confrontational than I'd have expected, considering she was the one needing help. She never brought you that hassy either. Is that always like this, Sexy? People, without lies, there wouldn't be much to write about. That's very true. Very true. I will admit that I'm interested in the possibility of a link back to Parallax. If all of this is really due to somebody manipulating the mesh net on the inside, it may give us the leverage we need to find out what happened to Hayden once and for all. That said, I will take care not to get my hopes up. We should make no assumptions when investigating, lest we lead ourselves down a false path. Anyway, seems like our next step is... What's that? Oh! What is happening? Oh no! What? What the? That's Zin! Oh, crap! Oh no, we need to go help her. It's too late, Sexy. Considering the angle and the height of the fall, rendering suitable aid is beyond our capabilities now. Your desire is laudable, but emergency services are already on the way. They will assist her as much as they can. We should head back to her office and see if we can determine what happened here. Perhaps we can still dispense justice. Remember? Justice, like you said. Oh my gosh! I can't believe that just happened! Looks like the desk has been cleared off. Let's take a look around, but be careful not to disturb any evidence. The police will be here soon. Okay, so, hold on, I need to stop there because time's up, but holy crap, that was a weird plot twist. I did not expect to jump out the window. What? Okay, well, there goes our lead, but thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all so dearly, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye! Eva, disable the taste simulation now! Oh, Neil, I don't think I feel like it. I'm so gonna get you back for this! Little dolphins. Oh, that's sweet. The basket wheel is what they call it. It's called a Ferris wheel, but okay. I guess that makes sense if you don't grow up with it. That must be a landmark. Okay, good to know.